Today, it's all about sunscreens. These sunscreens, they're very special in terms of they're supposed to wear great under makeup. That's what I really wanted to test today. The best sunscreen with really highly rated reviews that are really beautiful and wear beautiful under makeup. This right here is my top SPF to wear under makeup or on its own. Let's talk about it. This is Paula's Choice. They're super light daily wrinkle defense. And this one is normal to oily skin, and it does have a slight tint. And it almost has this like whipped, very lightweight texture. I'm gonna show you on one side just on its own. And then the other side, I'll show you with some makeup mixed in and show you what it looks like. I like to apply all of my SPFs with fingers because I find that I really need to warm up the formulas before I go onto my skin, just to help with the blendability. And I take at least a good minute to 2 minutes to really work any SPF into my skin. There you go, you can see a difference. Without, you can see it's a little more glowy, a little more shiny. My skin tone is a little bit more splotchy, not as even. And then on this side, it still looks like my skin, but it's a little bit softer. It's a little more diffused. Still has a nice little glow peeking from underneath. And it's a little more even with the color tone. So let me show you how I like to wear it with makeup. I actually like to mix it in with whatever base I'm going to wear, and that really helps with the no pilling issue. I'm going to mix it in with my L'Oreal The True Match Hyaluronic Tinted Serum and literally just work it into my hands. And this is too much for the one side, but I would do this for the whole face. And then if I need a little bit more coverage, I'll just take a little extra on my fingers and tap in the areas where I need the extra coverage. All right, you can see a difference. A lot more even with my skin tone, a little more color corrected. Still see a tiny little bit of peak coming through underneath the foundation and the SPF, but it still looks like my skin is very lightweight, wears beautifully all day long. Now let's look at the other top SPF options to wear under makeup. Let's see how they perform. This right here is by CeraVe. This is their Ultra Light Moisturizing Lotion. SPF of 30. This one's more for normal to oily skin, but it has 3 essential ceramides and hyaluronic acid. It moisturizes and helps restore the protective skin barrier. And this sunscreen, this right here, retails for $18.99. And then this is the other one that we're gonna test, the La Roche-Posay. This is their Tinted Mineral SPF of 50 for your face. And this has titanium dioxide, and it's with their Cell OX Shield. And this retails for $30.99. So a pretty big price difference, but let's test them out, see what the texture is, the consistency, how it applies. Let's go for it. Let's try them out. So starting with the CeraVe will be on the right side, and then the La Roche-Posay will be on the left. Not tinted versus tinted. So I'm just gonna do one pump first, and it's white. It's not super, super thick. It kind of has a very light moisturizer feel, like you can see it right there. But I do find that you have to kind of spend a little bit of time really blending the sunscreen in, no matter what the brand. As you can see, it had a really white cast, but now that I'm kind of blending it in, it's warming up. It looks really nice, and it feels really nice on the skin as well. It doesn't feel as super, super heavy, but it does have that very slight SPF fragrance. Take some on my neck, bring it around my ears. I'm finding this sunscreen to blend really, really well into the skin and on top of my skincare, and I'm not feeling any kind of extra texture like pilling that's the SPF is creating, so that's really good. It's not really creating my skin super matte. It's definitely more of a natural to more of a dewy finish. All right, so this next one, like I said, this right here retails for $30.99, so definitely a little bit more. But the biggest difference between the two is this is tinted and that one isn't, and this one has an SPF of 50 versus this is an SPF of 30. So let's, now that I've shaken this up, I'm just gonna take some, and it's super, super liquidy. I mean, very, very liquidy, and it does have a tint to it, so you can see it right there. And it looks like a lot, but like I said, you really kind of just have to sit here and really help blend this into your skin. Looks a little orange and green on my skin. On this one, I'm gonna make sure to really bring on my ears, just like I did on this side, but this one you can actually really see where you're spreading it. So I feel like it's a good thing with tinted sunscreens because you can really see where you're spreading it. It looks like it's blending in okay into my skin. So I'm touching both of the sides of my face right now, and the SPF has blended in really nicely on both sides. And the tint on this side, it's not really intense. I feel like it didn't really take away that much redness. It didn't really do too much in terms of color correcting or adding that much coverage to the face. It just provided a little bit more of a warmth to the skin. At first it was a little intimidating, but once you really sit here and you blend and you really warm it into your skin, it did a really good job. For my makeup, I'm gonna do the Fenty Beauty, the Blur Skin Tint. If you want coverage, but you still wanna look nice and lightweight, it's good for like makeup days like today where you don't want too much makeup on your face, but you want something. This is really nice. And plus it wears really beautifully on top of a lot of SPFs that I have tried. And then there are some SPFs that just did not do good under this product. And I'm gonna wear this product today and tomorrow because I wanna have similar makeup on both days. I'm basically wearing makeup that I know already wears beautifully with SPF. All right, so for the face makeup, like I said, I use the Fenty Beauty Skin Tint. Then I use the Lancome All Over Concealer, which is phenomenal. You guys need to try this if you haven't already. Next, for my eyebrows, I use the Benefit, the Precise My Brow in 3.5. Then I used the Clear Brow Gel by Benefit, the 24-hour one. For my blush, I mixed two shades by Anastasia Beverly Hills. In her cream stick blushes, I did shade Latte and Pink Dahlia. And then for my contour, I did e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in shade Tan Lines. And then on top, I used my powder bronzer by Guerlain in shade Light Cool. And then what else did I do? Mascara, Maybelline Sky High. And then last but not least, lipstick, I did the Dior 625 Mitza in the matte formula. Kept it very nice and simple, but I really wanted to focus on the complexion because we're really testing out the sunscreen. I think everything looks really, really nice. Still no pilling. Everything looks really beautiful. The skin still looks really nice and natural. It doesn't look super matte. Both sides actually look very even in terms of coverage, color, and then finish. Not one side is looking more oily, more matte, more radiant, more dewy. It looks very, very even, and I really like the way it looks. And they both feel very nice. I feel like I don't need to apply any kind of powder on top. Of course, you can if you find that your makeup does slip and slide throughout the day, but I really like the finish of the skin right now with everything. So I'll see you guys in a little bit and we'll see how the makeup is wearing, how my smile lines are looking, how the cheeks are looking, how the forehead is looking, if we're looking extra oily or extra dewy or extra dry. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, first update, how are we looking? I told Andre I really like how my skin looks today. It looks very fresh, it looks very natural, but it looks very healthy on both sides. I will say around the 5-hour mark, kind of my eyes are burning a little bit and they still are a little more sensitive on this side versus the La Roche-Posay, but the face is looking very even on both sides. Like I said, I'm not looking extra dry, extra oily. They're performing very, very, very similar. It's the end of the night and the sensitivity is still there on this side, but I feel like it kind of has chilled out a little bit. But I can still smell the SPF a tad in my eyes, like I'm looking at the light right now, and my eyes are a little more sensitive on this side. Like I look a little oily right here, but then when you look up close, you can see the SPF kind of breaking apart the makeup and it looks a little bit dry. All right, I'm gonna leave it here. I think they wore really well together. Obviously, on an everyday basis, I only wear one SPF, but I'm really happy with the way they both wore. They're both a little different. Actually, they're both different, but similar enough. And I think they wore beautifully throughout the day, and very similar throughout the day. All right, I'm gonna leave it here, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow with the other two SPFs. Day 2 of testing the best sunscreens under makeup. So let's start with the first sunscreen of the day. So this one is by Supergoop. This right here is their Unseen sunscreen with SPF of 40. It retails for $34. And what's so special about this, it's a totally invisible, weightless, scentless, and makeup gripping daily primer with SPF of 40. It has a natural finish, but a lot of people are saying it has more of a matte velvet finish. It's oil-free, which is great, and it has won Allure's 2019 Best of Beauty Awards. This next one right here is by Ulta MD, and this is their UV Physical Broad Spectrum SPF of 41, and this is lightly tinted. This retails for $34 as well. It provides sun protection and lightly tints your complexion to enhance the skin's radiance. It's lightweight, it's fragrance-free, and this mineral sunscreen won't clog pores and is gentle and sensitive skin. So they're saying right here, it's also really good for extra sensitive and post-procedure skin. So it's really nice and gentle. It's not going to harm your skin in any way. And also, you can apply it under your makeup. Let's go for it. So let's start first with the Supergoop Unseen. We'll do on the right side, same as yesterday, we'll do chemical versus physical. And same thing, clear versus tinted. So this one right here, it has a very thick texture. It's not super liquidy, like you guys saw. It's clear. It definitely kind of has that texture of a really nice thick face primer, like a pore filling type of a primer. It feels pretty good. And it does have a slight smell of SPF. I'm really hoping it's not gonna make my eyes sensitive like CeraVe's yesterday's. And I'm really taking my time to blend this in. Let's move on to the Ulta MD. This one right here is tinted, and this has more of a whipped texture. It's thick, but whipped, but also when you start blending it in, it blends in really smooth and even, if that makes sense. Like it's not hard to move around on the face. And it's a lot thicker than La Roche-Posay. It actually blended in really nice. I feel like it blended in a little better than the La Roche-Posay. Maybe because the tint, it's not as intense. It's definitely a lighter tint, but the way it blends into your skin, it kind of just becomes one with your skin. And this also has a little bit of that SPF scent, but both of these are very light and you don't really smell them. Yeah, the Ulta MD definitely has a little bit more of that dewy property on the skin, but I think they both look pretty even. I definitely see a lot more color correction with the Ulta MD, especially around the cheeks. So you can see a difference right here. The cheeks are a little bit more pronounced with the Supergoop because there is literally no pigment. There's no tint in the SPF. So a little bit of tint versus no tint. All right, let's apply very similar makeup as I did yesterday. A little bit of Fenty, the skin tint, the Anastasia stick blushes, the e.l.f. cream contour. Makeup is on. The only different things I used was mascara, the Dior, they're iconic. And then for lips, I used, where is it? Charlotte Tilbury in Pillow Talk, but number 3 Intense. And then for the lipstick, I used Bite Beauty, their Power Move Soft Matte Lipstick in Sugar Buns. So now that the makeup is on, I was really looking closely at my skin. And I want to say something on this side right here with the Supergoop. It's looking a little heavy and a little dry right here on the pores versus this side with the Ulta MD. It has a really nice, like soft, diffused look, but it looks a little heavy on this side. I'm not sure why, but otherwise everything else looks really good and there was no extra pilling, so that is the best part. But I'll see you guys in a little bit and we'll see how the face is wearing. Am I looking extra oily? Am I looking extra dry? Or it just looks great altogether? I'll see you in a little bit. This is how we're looking like 5 hours in, but I am feeling a little sensitive on the right side again. Not my face, but my eyes. With both of these SPFs, they're feeling a little more slippy and slidey, but I feel like my face looks really good right now. It looks very even. I feel like it definitely has a little bit more glow than yesterday, but the way I'm touching it, this side is a little bit more tacky, and I actually feel like I can swipe a lot of that product off my face, versus this side, it's a little bit more powdery, even though you can still kind of take it off. But the forehead, it's looking still a little dry, but it's a little oily at the same time. I feel like it's wearing good, it's feeling good, but I think yesterday wore a little bit better. But I like that I'm looking really even still. Okay, so let's chit chat. Oh, my face definitely has seen better days. The SPF has broken apart my makeup really, really, really bad. It looks like I was out jogging for like 5-10 miles and then it was sweating all over the place, which I wasn't. I mean, I think the worst part is like right here in the T-zone, basically where I make the most movements. So the problem with today's SPFs, especially the Supergoop one, I feel like that one was very slippy and slidey, and it never really even sank into my skin. Even though it's oil-free, it still has that really thick primer feeling that I don't like. And I feel like it really like clogs the pores for my face personally. But I just feel like the makeup is just not sitting great on it. And it's also not sitting great on the Ulta MD side as well. Like I'm looking, and the way it's breaking apart around my mouth, it looks so bad. Yeah, I'm just not liking these two SPFs for my face personally. I liked the CeraVe a lot more, but definitely the La Roche-Posay. I feel like that one wore the best on me. It's just I don't like this skin tint on me personally. I'm just gonna go for the La Roche-Posay, just untinted. I think that one is a really good compromise for me personally. But for now, you guys, thank you for watching, spending time with me, and I'll see the next one very soon.